Different FGC competitors or analysts will classify footsies differently. This is my perspective on the neutral game and how it translates to real combat sports. Now, most state that neutral footsies are a Rochambeau of pokes with punishes and some sort of movement. James Chen, for example, has pokes with punishes and walking forward as his 3 elements. In my opinion, there are 4 elements, and they don't interact in a rock, paper, scissors type of manner, because it's not as simple as A beats B and C beats A when it comes to combat. I mentioned the 4 elements briefly in the video on the topic on the AMO Pancration channel as well, so now I'll just go a little bit more in depth. Basically, I split the neutral game into 4 parts: pokes, with punishes, footwork, and haymakers. And instead of a Rochambeau, there's sort of a hierarchy. At the very bottom of this hierarchy, so the worst of the 4 if you will, are the haymakers. Now, what do I mean by haymakers? I mean something that has high priority and something that may have invincibility frames. Now, of course, you can throw these haymakers in neutral and it'll beat most options. For example, it'll beat a poke, it'll beat a dash forward, and it'll trade most likely with another haymaker. But it's a very risky move to do, and most of the time, it'll just get punished. Now, it being in the bottom doesn't mean it's useless. It means that it must be used sparingly and only with the right read. Above haymakers are with punishes, and the reason why I put with punishes second is because they have a very specific use. They are a reaction to the opponent's initiative, namely to either a poke or a haymaker. That makes them inherently a defensive maneuver that is prone to mix-ups. Using reactions to whiff punish leaves you vulnerable to feints or bait. On the other hand, with punishing predictively, so anticipating the timing of the strike, will lose to rhythm switching or offbeat pokes. This all, of course, depends on the skill level of the opponent. If the opponent is at equal or lower level, then whiff punishes are a very powerful tool that counterattacks and lead to significant damage. So that's why I put it second to last. Next are pokes. Now, pokes are flexible in that they can be done actively or reactively in footsies. They can be used as a form of attack that can lead to various tactics like mix-ups or frame traps. They can also be used defensively to counter advancing movements or strikes by the opponent. Their downside, of course, is that they can be beat by every other option in the hierarchy and during every phase of the attack. The hierarchy that I've put is not only in regards to their usefulness, it's also in regards to how difficult they are to master. And that's why at the very top is footwork. Movement is the first and also the most advanced aspect of combat one will learn. It is the basis of which all other maneuvers are initiated. It will beat haymakers by simply making them whiff punishes by differing the timing and angles of attack, and pokes by virtue of positioning that leads to counters, whiff punishes, and the psychological impact of feeling helpless in landing an attack. So that's why I put footwork at the very top of the hierarchy. It's the most complex, it's the most beneficial, but it's also the most difficult to master. So that's about it. For more fighting game and combat sport related tactics, make sure to sub to the channel as I'll be uploading quite often. You can also support me via Patreon or Ko-fi. Cheers everyone, and I'll catch you in the next video.